Hi everyone, welcome to this masterclass, which is about being too self-conscious. So you're going to relate to this masterclass or going to find it helpful if you are somebody who thinks that sometimes you are too self-conscious as a person of yourself, and you can see how it is impacting your life, and you want to overcome it, or you want to heal it in some ways. All right. So basically I've also made a PDF on the same topic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cover the same topics that I've put down in the PDF here in the masterclass. And I actually have that PDF open in my desktop. So I'll just start. So here are the topics that we're going to cover under this. So first is, now what does it mean to be too self-conscious? So when I say too self-conscious, so you will get to know how does it feel when you are too self-conscious of yourself. And this will help you identify or make out the intensity of how you are, as how you are self-conscious as a person. Second, we are going to discuss why are you so self-conscious. Obviously, whenever, even if it is about struggling with self-confidence, self-esteem, or any sort of self-concept in your life, just like being too self-conscious, sometimes the question that often comes up to us is, why is it that we have it and others do not? And oftentimes what happens is we end up blaming ourselves, criticizing ourselves even more for being a certain type. Third, in the third topic, we're going to discuss how does it impact your life. So if you are too self-conscious of yourself, why has it become problematic to you? In what ways is it really causing you problem in your life? That will determine if you want to like heal it or not, or if it is really you have reached that point that where you should work upon it. Fourth topic and the final topic, we are going to discuss how do you heal your self-consciousness, and what does the healing process look like. And obviously we're going to end this masterclass with an activity or a homework which you can do right away, which will actually start your healing journey on this self of being too self-conscious. So one thing before I actually begin with main content, I would like to share is that you do not in this masterclass you're not going to find that 4 or 5 pointers or tips where you can just say, where you can just see that okay, this is something that I can start doing right away, and myself, this will be healed, me being too self-conscious will be healed within one week or 1 month right away. No, this is not, you will not find any 5 point or 6 points here that you can start practicing right away. No, what we are going to do is in this masterclass is rather we are going to like see the process of healing this thing permanently. We are not seeking temporary solutions here, or you know therefore you will not find any tips and tricks here. So it's rather going to be very, we are going to go deeper into why is it that you are too self-conscious of yourself, and that is where the healing process will begin. And so the homework that you get after at the end of this masterclass is going to be few questions that are going to help you go deeper into the why, like the origin of why you are self-conscious of yourself at the first place. So do not expect to have 4 5 or tips which you will start using right away and you will be healed. Nothing of that sort. Rather we are talking about permanent, solving something permanently. All right. And this masterclass will also help you understand yourself deeper, in the sense that why is it that I'm self-conscious, and how is it impacting my life and all of that thing. All right, so moving to the first topic, what does it mean to be too self-conscious? Or basically we are going to discuss how does it feel when you are too self-conscious of yourself. See, when you're too self-conscious, what happens is, whenever you are in presence of other people or new people, people you are not comfortable with, or people who are new to you, you do not know well, what ends up happening in your mind is you keep thinking, you somewhere fear that those people are judging you, those people are constantly watching you, examining your behavior, and they are judging you, passing judgments to you. If not directly to you, then it's definitely happening secretly. They are thinking, either they are thinking, they're judging you in their thoughts, but they are judging you. So you have a thought that they're judging you, and what ends up happening is you keep thinking about, okay, how they may be judging me. So that is what happens when you are a self-conscious person. So what happens as a result is, whenever you are out in front of new people, your mind or your complete energy is spent on thinking about, worrying about what other people are thinking about me, or and as a result, that makes you highly conscious of yourself, of your acts, of what you do, how you stand, what you speak, all of that. You become very conscious of what you're doing, because you feel that others are always watching me, judging me. They can, if I do something that can come off as weird, they may even criticize me openly or directly, tell me something directly, or just pass me any judgment or call me anything. So that fear is constantly there, and because of this fear is there, you, to protect yourself even more, to protect yourself from that judgment, you act very conscious of yourself. So you are very aware of what you're doing, in your surrounding. Okay. So, and in this act, when we are, because you have fear that, because you have this fear that other people might judge you, as a result you end up acting or portraying your image as a person who doesn't has any flaws, or who cannot make any mistake. You end up trying to be a perfect person in front of them, and it's all in your mind. Like, in real, people may not be actually noticing you that much, but because you feel that they're watching you, you will end up, speaking in a way or acting in a very made up way, very, superficial way, to come off as somebody very perfect who doesn't have any flaws. Because you somewhere think that if you are, if you are being just yourself, just doing the things, like which you want to do in real way, you think that that is flawed, and people will start judging you if you do things that way. That is why you start portraying a very perfect version of you in front of them. And that is nothing, and that happens when you are, very conscious of yourself, and it takes a lot of your energy into doing that. And that is why you would notice, if you are a self-conscious person, it is very much tiring for you to be, in the presence of new people. That is why you would notice that you would avoid social gathering. As a person who is self-conscious, you would avoid, or you would prefer not to be, present in a social gathering, because you know that if I have to be in the presence of new people, like, it is not just that I have to go and meet new people. No, I have to put up an act. A lot of my energy will be spent upon, uh, checking my surroundings constantly, and then behaving in a way that other people will like, and not rather judge me or disagree with me on. That is why, as a self-conscious person, you find it very hard to be in front of new people, or just to go out. Okay. And when you are self-conscious, somewhere you are very scared of, expressing your real views, or just being your authentic self in front of others. Somewhere you are scared, or you feel that you will be judged by others, okay, for the way you are in real life. A constant fear, that lingers in you when you are self-conscious person, is that what will people think of me. This one question stays in your mind, and in order to, protect yourself from all of the negative things that can happen, you end up, being very self-conscious of yourself. Moving to the next question, why are you so self-conscious? All right. So this is a very good question, because it helps you understand yourself deeper. It helps you understand, to the point where, where we often do not go, because even if we are, struggling with confidence, self-esteem, or any other things, uh, we we often do not go into the why part. We are rather more interested into how I can solve it, how I can become confident, how I can, build a high self-esteem in just 2 days, 1 week, or two months even. We are never interested into why is it that I have it. We're never interested into, because we know that a lot of pain or hurt is attached to that part. But in reality, if you want to heal something permanently, so we are not talking about that temporary solutions where you just try out 5 hacks, and it works. I'm not saying that it won't work. It works, but it works temporarily. So because those are temporary hacks, it works for only that, that span of time, temporarily. Because we are talking about permanently solving something permanently, or healing is the right term. Because when you talk about healing, it happens gradually. There is no flip or switch that happens in a short span of time. So when we talk of healing self-consciousness, what we when we talk, what we do is, we actually trace or find the reason that why is it that one person is so self-conscious of themselves, and I do not. And it is different for everybody, because every person comes from different, surroundings, environment, family, and everything, background. So it's going to be different for everybody. So the healing, when we heal it, we trace exactly that thing, that why is it that I am so self-conscious of myself. Okay, so coming to the part, why are you so self-conscious? So first thing I want you to understand is that, when you are a self-conscious person, you might think that, I am self-conscious for no reason, or why is it that I have it. So one thing to know is that self-conscious, it doesn't stand, it is not something that is standalone. So your self being self conscious is actually a protective mechanism, or you can say call it a safety measure, that one ends up resorting to when one has a very strong fear, that fear of judgment from others. So the fact that you have, you are too self conscious means that self conscious, you became self conscious in a way to protect yourself from this fear, which is nothing but fear of judgment. So in a way, because your fear of judgment of, that other people can judge me is so strong, as a result, to protect yourself, what you did is, okay, let me do this, let me become so self conscious of myself, let me like be so careful of what I do or how I present myself in front of others, that I can prevent other people from judging me. So self conscious, like you are too self conscious, not for no reason or nothing, but the main reason or the main core problem is fear of judgment. Your fear of judgment, that you feel that, okay, others can judge me, they can call me anything anytime, and I won't be able to do anything at that point. Because in real, judgment is something that can come from anybody, any point of time. And to be honest, anybody can judge you any point of time. The thing is that, are we taking it, and to what intensity are we really, open to these judgments? To what extent are we taking it in? To what extent is it hurting us, or we are really accepting it or feeling for it? That is what matters. So in this case, that is what is happening. That is why you as a person become self conscious of yourself. So the origin of, being self conscious is nothing but this fear of getting judged. Now, why, if now, okay, we understood that, why is it that I'm this self conscious of myself? Because I have this fear of judgment. Now, why do I have this fear of judgment? Why is it that I have this and other people do not? Now, fear of judgment is something that happens. uh, it is you fear of being judged because you have been judged at some point in your life. So you have this strong fear in yourself because at some point in your life you have been judged, to the point or to the extent where it felt very unsafe and uncomfortable for you, to you. And that is why, as a child, or whenever, whatever your younger version would be, when you got judged, you decided, or your brain or your body made a decision, that because I feel or I felt so unsafe in this moment of, when I was judged by this one person, I take a decision that I will, try my best to not get judged by anybody else in coming years also. So as an adult, you might not realize, in real life, but your body has adopted this safety measure of being self conscious as a way or as a mechanism to protect you from getting judged again. So your fear of judgment actually comes from a place of familiarity, where where your body knows, your body remembers that I've been judged heavily before. That is why I have this fear. Okay. Now, when or how does it happen, or how could it have happened in your life? So mostly, it dates back to your younger or tender days, basically your childhood. So what could have happened is that when you were just a child, so if you were, just being yourself or doing the things the way you do, or just expressing your real opinion or views, and doing the things just the way you would do, back in your tender days, or at some point in your life when you were just being yourself, there would be just one or two person in your life who you actually, trusted. They would have judged you so heavily and judged you, just for being yourself, when you were just being yourself, expressing your opinion, or just doing things your way, or just walking or standing the way you actually want to, you were judged so heavily, or you were judged in a way that it didn't feel comfortable to you, or you didn't like it, or it felt very unsafe to you. So now, over time, and when it happens over time, when it happens to you frequently over time, your body or your mind says that, because whenever I'm doing these things, or whenever I'm actually telling my real opinion, or doing things my own way, the way I am in real, I'm getting judged, and I'm not liking it. That means that somewhere I'm flawed as a person, my authentic self is flawed. There's some problem in me. There's some problem the way I am. There's some problem the way I think. There is some problem the way I walk, or just carry myself. As a result, because you now feel that you are flawed as a person, as an adult, you really believe that there's some flaw in me. So whenever you are out in presence of others, you try your best to hide your real self from others, and rather put up an act, or act like it's like I'm a perfect person, or portray a flawless image of yours, or that constant fear is there. What if they get to know the real me? Now you know where this fear is coming from, because when you were being real, at some point in your life you got judged heavily. So to prevent that from happening again, to prevent judgment from other people also, coming from other people, you decided that because when I got judged, I was being myself, so let's not do that again. I will not be myself in front of others, so that people cannot judge me. And that is how you uh, adopted, being too self-conscious of yourself, and acting like a made-up person in front of others to protect yourself from being judged by others. Yes. And in reality what happens is, now that I I actually showed you, what could have happened, or how exactly your fear of judgment comes from, like some incident, or several experiences from your childhood or younger, times, older times. So when I did actually take you back there, I want you to notice that in reality, the person who actually judged you for being yourself in your younger days would actually be just 1 or 2%, not everybody in your life. It would be just 1 or 2% who actually judged you heavily for when you were just being the way you are. But now as an adult, what how we are, made up is, we start our mind starts thinking that, everybody else is also like that person. We start assuming that everybody we meet, or just general, every person is like them. That is, we start thinking that everybody is thinking the same about us, everybody is going to judge us the same way, which is not true, because we do not know everybody personally, that to know that if they are judgmental to that extent or not. In a way, we end up projecting our fear upon, a lot of people. So I want you to see the reality of it, that fear of, because even fear of judgment is not real. We do not know everybody we are meeting, like in life right now. How do we know that they are judging us if we do not know them at personal level? But we feel that they're judging us because we end up projecting our fear, that because that person judged me so heavily, chances are that these people are also thinking the same way about me. Yes. So when, I want you to understand that you have become self-conscious of yourself only and only to protect yourself from avoid getting judged by others. Okay. All right. Moving to the third topic, how does it impact your life? Or basically, we are going to discuss, how is it a problem exactly? So, why is it that you being too self-conscious has now become a problem? A problem, more than problem. We are going to discuss how has it become problematic in our life. See, two things happen. So when you are a self-conscious person, two things happen which are actually, which actually becomes problematic. First, a lot of energy is spent on thinking about others' thought. So what happens is, suppose this is you and you want to do something, okay? You want to do something in your life, or very basic thing also. Now it's not just you and the thing that you want to do. It's not just, so your thoughts are not only about, okay, how I can do it, or what can I do, what's the process to do it. No, it's not just that. It's you, what you want to do, but in between a lot of time will be spent, a lot of your energy will be spent upon unnecessary worries, or thinking that, will I be able to do it, what will people think of me if I do it, do I know the right, like am I prepared enough to do it. A lot of your energy will be spent on thoughts, thinking about others, judging yourself. Basically, you will start judging yourself. Why? Because I don't want other people to judge me, so let me judge me myself before, so that other people do not have any chance of judging me. I will judge myself, I will correct everything that I can see, as a shortcoming or shortfalling, and I will not give others any chance to judge me. So in a way, what's happening is, a lot of your energy gets spent on unnecessary worries and thinking about others' thoughts, and that's a lot of energy. And that is why you would notice that, if you when you are a self-conscious person, even simple tasks which involves you doing something new in front of other people or in new surrounding will start feeling very exhaustive to you, because now it's not just you and something that you want to do, but a lot of unnecessary thoughts in between, which which will not be the case for a normal, or for somebody who is not self-conscious. They would not feel this. For them it would be an easy task, but for you, when you are a self-conscious person, the same task would become much more, energy draining. Now, second, this was the first point, how being too self-conscious, affects you or become problematic too. Second is, you often end up not doing things for the fear of people judging you. So first was that, in the first point we discussed that sometimes when we want to do something, and when we want to do something, we do it, but after a lot of, like a lot of, after spending a lot of energy and time on thinking about other people thought. But in some cases, these thoughts would be so daunting, and the you would assume so much bad things or negative outcomes about events going wrong, that you would often end up giving into your fear of people judging you and not doing things that you wanted to. So you notice how you being too self-conscious actually stops you in your life from doing new things that you really wanted to, because your fear of judgment was so strong. Okay. And one thing to note is that when you are a self-conscious person, what happens is your nervous system becomes very overactive, or I can say your nervous system remains on an alert mode 24 into 7. And that is why you would often notice that you would often feel exhausted, because as a self-conscious person, for similar same task that for somebody who doesn't have self-conscious would feel heavier, more energy draining. And that is why you would dread going out or doing new things in life, if you are a self-conscious person. Moving to the last topic, what can you do to heal yourself, to heal being too self-conscious? So what we want to do here is what we can do to actually go from somebody who is very conscious of themselves in front of others, to somebody who is you know carefree, as in they are okay with uh, being themselves, or putting their authentic self out in front of new people without really worrying about what other people are thinking about me all the time. So this is the journey that we want to cover, going from being too self-conscious to somebody who feels very okay and fine in being their authentic self in front of others. And again, it's going to be a journey. So now, as I said, every healing process starts with going deeper into the why, that why the like why is problem there at the first place at all. So here also healing would look like, why is it that I'm self-conscious, so self-conscious? Okay, so this will require you digging deeper into your past and all of that. Like we also discussed, that why you do have that fear of judgment in you. Okay, as I said, that self-conscious is something that comes as a result of fear, a very strong fear of judgment in you. And so, and when we went deeper into that, where could this fear of judgment could be coming from, we realized that it actually comes from our tender days or younger days, where we felt being judged so heavily that we developed this fear into us. So a big part of actually healing this self-conscious is actually uh, digging deeper into our fear of judgment, that who exactly, like what exactly happened in my past, or when was I judged so heavily, and like what is the fear around it, finding all of that out. So because basically when you are a self-conscious person, what we actually do is we decide that I'm going to judge myself, and not do anything that can come off as a bad thing or a weird thing to other people, so that other people cannot judge me, so so when it comes to healing this being too self-conscious, first is we are going to actually dive deeper into your fear of being fear of being judged by others, which actually includes you finding out exactly, not exactly the memories or experiences, uh, but seeing for reality, like what happened exactly, finding that out. And then after once we are done with that, once we are done with that, that is where the belief work gets done, and we resolve. That is where the fear also gets resolved. Once we talk on it, see it for real, for what it is. Because often, a lot of times, fear is nothing but unprocessed emotions or feelings. Because we were so scared and it felt so much painful to us, we left it there and moved ahead in life. But we thought that we left it, and in a way we also did not feel the pain back then. But it sometimes it gets stored in your subconscious, and now it is affecting you even now. Self-conscious is you being too self-conscious is nothing but a result of that fear, so strongly set in your subconscious. So to resolve this fear, what we do is we go exactly deeper into the origin of that fear, and we stay there, we process it there. And that is how your fear of being judged gets resolved. And the more it gets resolved, the more we give it time, the more you take your time to process it, the more it will get resolved. And slowly, when it gets resolved, you will feel, you will start feeling healed enough to actually let, let yourself be free. And it will happen gradually. not a sudden, you will not start feeling suddenly fine with you being authentic. And not, first step would be, not acting or not being too careful or hyper aware about your surrounding whenever you are out in front of others. So it will be a journey of going from too self conscious to somebody who is very fine with being their authentic self in front of others. Because what is going to happen is they are going to develop that safety inside you. Because here at this stage, when we are too self conscious, we fear a lot that what other people have got to say about us. So in a way, we are depending upon other people for our safety. But when we go from here to this person who is very fine with being their authentic self in front of others, our safety resides in us. So this is going to a journey. We are going to learn how we create our safety inside us rather than having it scattered in our surroundings. So that is going to be a journey. Okay. All right. And when it comes to that fear of judgment, you would actually stop judging yourself when you really really believe and understand that, or start considering that, okay, you are not worthy of being judged. When you start believing into that, I don't deserve to be judged. And that is something will happen when we actually resolve that fear or go deeper into that fear. So main part is, going deeper and resolving that fear there. All right. So here are some questions which will help you do exactly that. So so when you are a self-conscious person, something, a very strong fear remains is that, or a strong wish that you operate from is that I better not do something that will make me come off as a weird person to others. So one question is, what do you believe will happen when you do something weird that you think will bring judgment from others? So first question is, what do you believe will happen when you do something weird that you think will bring judgment from others? So we have this fear, a lot of things can happen. I want you to feel like it has happened. You have done something weird, according to you, which can actually bring judgments from others. So like it's happening, okay? Feel like it's happening. Now first question, what would this judgment look like? Because you feel that if I act a certain way, people would start judging me. Now suppose that is happening, you have done something and people have started judging you, and you actually know how it is happening, or carrying out. I want you to imagine it, really see for like it is happening. The first question I want you to answer is, what would this judgment look like? What is happening? Is everybody calling you out, or what are they telling you? Note it down, or just map it out. How is it going to happen? Second, who has judged you like that before? Now that you know how does the judgment look like, I want to ask you a second deeper question, which is, has anybody judged you the same way any time in your life before? Take your time and answer all of these questions, and this is going to help you because it's actually going to help you find exactly that person who you are actually afraid of getting judged from. Because as we talked, it's not everybody who is judging us, but it's rather we are the ones who are projecting that fear of, one or two people upon everybody. So we want to find exactly who is the person, or who is that one, like one or two people who we are actually afraid of getting judged from. Okay. So here we are trying to see our fear for truth. We are going to, uncover, we want to uncover our fear. Now, as a homework, okay, so as a homework, I have three questions, like as a follow up, or you can, so similar to that question. So take your time and answer this, and this is also going to help you again do the same thing, going deeper into your fears and resolving it. So I want you to sit and have an honest talk with yourself and answer the following three questions. First, who do I feel is judging me all the time if it is not everyone? As I said, it is not everyone who judges you. You do not know everyone that to that personal extent that they are judgmental or not. I want you to answer, who do I feel is judging me all the time if it's not everyone? Second question, do I somewhere believe, or do I somewhere feel I deserve their judgment? Do I somewhere feel that I deserve their judgment? Or I deserved, whenever they judged me in the past, I deserved it. I was the one who was actually at fault. Third, I want you to answer, if yes, if yes, will I ever do the same to someone I love in my life, no matter how big of a mistake they made? So, if yes, if you do feel that, actually it was my fault, I deserve to be judged, or their judgment was justified. If you feel that, yes, I deserved their judgment in the past or even now, will you judge, like, your loved one? I want you to consider somebody you love in your life. If they did the same thing that you did, would you judge them the same way that person judged you? I want you to take your time, and think upon all these situations and write your honest answers. If you want to share, you can share it with me, or uh, it will really help you understand where your fear of judgment is actually coming from, and that is where the resolving of fear also happens. And one thing I would like to tell you is that do not try to actually do not try to jump to results, or doing something that can get me results as quickly as possible without doing this belief work as in resolving this fear. Because these what we are going to do is, or these questions are going to help you is dabble deeper into your fear, which is actually a very important step. Because once we resolve our fear, that is when the action taking, or you know doing the some things that will help you actually overcome your self conscious becomes easier. But if you ditch the fear or looking into fear part and jump directly to doing things, or forcefully taking actions into your reality, or forcefully trying to become, putting your authentic self out in front of new people, you would end up actually, intensifying your fear more. Because that is, because ignoring or escaping your fear would not help you ever, let me tell you. And that is why motivation or tips and tricks do not work, because in that case you are not listening to your fear, what it is trying to tell you in real. Fear is nothing but your unprocessed emotions which demands your attention and acknowledgement. Understand this. So the first work is always going to be you understanding your fear and acknowledging it. And trust me, when we do that, our fear actually feels seen, and that is when it starts to resolve and escape our body. And that is when you take action after doing this work, resolving your fear, your action would be much more authentic and effective, and you will see results like two times more faster. All right. Okay, so this was the homework. Do the homework, and I hope by now you have a deeper understanding of why you are self-conscious of yourself, how it is impacting you, and what is the intensity of you being too self-conscious. And I hope the process of how you heal your self-consciousness. How do you go from being self-conscious to somebody who is very fine with presenting their authentic self in front of others. I hope it's all clear. And the first step is, good dabbling deeper into your fear, for which the questions are going to help you, that I gave you in the activity in the homework. All right, so do this activity. And if you want to work with me, book a call with me, just DM me coaching and I'll send you the link. You can book your first call there, and we can have session around this. We can actually dive deeper into your fears, and like have the entire, healing part with me. All right, so this was it for this masterclass. Do the homework, and if you want the PDF also for this, for this masterclass, where you can get the questions in the written format, you can just DM me PDF. I'll send it to you, or you can also get it from my LinkedIn featured section. It's there. All right, so we'll meet in the next masterclass. Bye bye.